So Christmas Eve had come and passed, but not so Christmas Day. And thus it is we add a final act unto our yearly play. A taxicab pulled up to the Grand Hotel that morning somewhere around 8, and the father with his son got out and asked the driver to please wait. Then the father asked the clerk if he could speak to the couple in room 1224, adding he did not know the couple's name, but had met their child the night before. The clerk answered most politely that he would like to fulfill his wish, but the room 1224 in this hotel did not exist. The father then described the little girl, her age and dress as well, but the clerk said there had been no children there at all that week. Was he sure he had the right hotel? So the father started wondering if in the cold winter's air he had somehow imagined the entire event. But then he realized he didn't care. The only thing that mattered when all was said and done was that he was reunited with his one and only son. And when they got back into their cab, he heard a ripping sound as the contents of his wife's folder spilled out onto the ground. As he rushed to pick it all up, he grabbed the picture first of him and his wife at the age 19, long before she had given birth. And on the back he saw a poem he had written to her years before they had wed, when they were young, their lives just begun. And here is what it said. If a single tear fell from your eyes into the ocean, and then washed up on some far and distant shore, I would still recognize that teardrop, for in the end, that tear would still be yours. And then he saw another picture that he had never seen before, of a little girl in a Russian-styled coat, standing with her parents in front of their store. The little girl he saw there, he now knew was a childhood picture of his wife. But it was also a picture of the little girl he had just met on the previous night. He realized that those who love, death cannot divide. It only provides an extra soul to watch over us from the other side. And together they returned back to the father's home and shared the best Christmas that either of them had ever known. And somewhere across eternity, which in distance cannot be measured, the mother looked down upon them both, and their happiness she treasured. And later on, late that night, when her son was drifting off to sleep, a tear once more rolled from her eyes and trailed across her cheek. But this one was a tear of joy that she could not keep inside, and this time she followed it through eternity across the great divide, till it landed by another joyful tear that her husband had just wept, and there unseen she joined him in the silent vigil that he kept. For we are all born mortal, like stars and candlelight, and all that really matters is what we do before we fall asleep each night.